I was just pulling out my chair when Rebecca's heel slammed into it, sliding it out from under me. Go to the kitchen, she said. Adopted children don't eat with the real family. Forks paused. Then laughter sharp, cruel, echoing. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I walked back to my purse, pulled out the thick envelope I'd kept hidden for weeks, and laid it right in the center of the table. Mom and Dad left me this, I said quietly. Call your lawyers. We'll finish this tomorrow. And the way every smile died in that room. That wasn't even the beginning. Hi, I'm Layla Morgan. And for most of my life, I tried to convince myself that being the adopted child in the Morgan family didn't matter. Harold and Miriam, my parents, never made me feel different. But their three biological children, Rebecca, Ethan, and Natalie, made sure I never forgot exactly where they thought I belonged. Growing up, the reminders came in small cuts. When family photos were taken, Rebecca angled her body so I barely fit in the frame. Ethan joked, "Don't worry, Isla. No one will notice you're not one of us." And Natalie perfected that soft, patronizing smile people use when they're being cruel, but pretending they're not, through it all. Mom would pull me aside afterward, cup my face gently, and whisper, "You're our daughter in every way that matters." Dad would ruffle my hair, help me with homework, sit through every recital, like I was the center of his world. Their love was real, solid, the only thing that made me feel like I belonged. Then came the 6 months. That broke me open. When both Mom and Dad fell sick, I moved back into their home without hesitation. I slept in stiff hospital chairs, signed treatment forms, talked to doctors, held their hands when they slipped away, days apart. My siblings, they sent half-hearted texts. Adrian, my husband, took care of our kids, Ava and Mason, at home. Do what you need to do, he told me. I'd got us. I will never forget that. Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't risk exposure because of his banking job. Natalie said the twins needed her. Rebecca said she couldn't handle seeing them like that. So it was just me. Every day. Every night. Loving them through the end, after the funerals, where my siblings suddenly played the roles of devoted children. Rebecca made an announcement with her polished voice and perfect posture. She wanted a family dinner to honor Mom and Dad, and she assigned tasks. Ayla, you handle the cooking. Ethan nodded like he was approving a presentation. Natalie added, bring the rolls from that bakery near you. Mom loved those. I should have seen the trap forming. The whispering, the avoiding eye contact, the way they treated me like helpful staff, not family, but grief makes you hope for things you shouldn't. I cooked for 3 days. Wore a dress Mom always said complimented my smile. Told myself this dinner might bring us together, but when I stepped into Rebecca's beautiful, spotless, cold house, I felt it, that shift. The quiet tension. Like I wasn't a guest, I was the target. Mom's china was on the table. The pieces Rebecca insisted on keeping for sentimental reasons, even though she barely visited at the end. Everything looked perfect. Too perfect. Lila, you're early, Rebecca said with that stretched, polished smile. Just put everything in the kitchen. We'll handle the rest. We, not you. Them. As I walked past, I caught pieces of a hushed conversation, Ethan's voice. Then Natalie's cut off the moment I appeared. Something was wrong. In the kitchen, while unpacking dishes I'd poured my heart into, that familiar ache settled in. The ache from childhood. From being outside closed doors while they laughed. From seeing family photos uploaded online without me. From hearing traditions continued without the adopted one. Sometimes exclusion is subtle. Sometimes it smirks right in your face. 15 minutes before dinner, I stepped into the living room. Their conversation died instantly. Ethan avoided my eyes. Natalie twisted her bracelet. Rebecca watched me like someone making sure a trap was set properly. Dinner began the way disasters do quietly. Politely, Rebecca took Mom's seat. Ethan poured wine like it was a networking event. Natalie kept glancing at them for some signal, and me, placed at the far end, after everyone else had already chosen their seats. When I brought the food out, Rebecca clapped lightly. "Oh, good, Isla. You can start serving." Serving, not joining Dot as I moved around the table. They didn't shift a single chair. Didn't pause their conversations. Didn't offer a hand. I wasn't family. I was staff. Then Ethan cleared his throat. "Since we're all here, we should talk about the house." Rebecca nodded. "And Mom's jewelry. Some pieces are valuable." Natalie added, "And the investments. They should stay in the bloodline." Bloodline. My fork froze. Rebecca leaned in. "We just want to be practical, Ima. I'm sure you understand." I understood perfectly. Their smiles were bait. This dinner was a setup, a stage. "What exactly are you saying?" I asked. Natalie gave her fake sympathetic tone. "We all know Mom and Dad loved you, but legally, inheritance usually goes to biological children." Ethan nodded. "We're not cutting you out. We're just saying the majority should stay where it belongs." Belongs, that did it. Something inside me went still. I stood up, walked to my purse, pulled out the thick envelope Mom had pressed into my hands, walked back, dropped it onto the center of the table. The thud sliced the room open. "What is that?" Ethan snapped. "Mom and Dad left me this," I said. "Call your lawyers. We'll meet tomorrow." The panic was instant. Delicious. I walked out, leaving their stunned silence behind me like smoke from a fire I had finally set. The next morning, at the lawyer's office, they were already there, angry, nervous, pretending confidence. "Mr. Sullivan, our parents' lawyer for 20 years, opened the will, the entirety of the Morgan estate," he read. "Home, savings, investments, belongings, and all insured assets is to be inherited by their daughter, Layla Morgan." Silence. Then chaos. Ethan erupted. Clara, his shark of a wife, demanded documents. Natalie cried. Rebecca shook her head, whispering, No, they wouldn't do this." But Sullivan continued. He read a personal note from my parents. "Isla is the one who never left our side. Not out of obligation, but love. She gave us the security we want to give back to her." Ethan slammed the table. Clara threatened legal action. Sullivan shut them down with one sentence. Isla wasn't present for the revisions. Undue influences impossible. That was the moment the power finally shifted. "What do you want from us?" Natalie asked desperately. "I want peace," I said. "But I won't negotiate my parents' wishes. They made their choice. And so did you." I walked out, and just before the door closed, I said the last words they deserved. "You told me to go to the kitchen, but I'm done eating scraps." The days that followed were messy. Threats, tears, excuses. But for the first time in my life, I didn't shrink. Then, weeks later, I learned about two little girl sisters who'd lost everything. 4 and 3. No relatives willing to take them both. Something in me opened. 8 months later, Leia and Hazel came home. Ava read them bedtime stories. Mason offered his favorite stuffed bear, and I realized I had finally built the family I always deserved. 1 year after that nightmare dinner, I stood in the doorway of our new home, watching all 4 kids chase each other across the backyard. Laughing under the sun, Adrien wrapped his arm around my waist and whispered, "This is the real family." And he was right. Blood didn't give me this life. Love did. Choice did. Courage did. If you've ever been pushed aside by the people who should have protected you, you are not alone. Share your story below and hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.